Come on now. Oh, that's cute!
그날 이후로 난 이렇게 살고 더는 곁에 한 번도 들지 못하고 그날 이후로 난 이렇게 살아 깨진 건데 오늘
Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at Boynextdoor's track 오늘만. I love you. This is a Patreon request. Shout out to Lauren for the request. Now Lauren has been the exclusive Boynextdoor requester, so this is very cool. I love the fact that we get to look at Boynextdoor chronologically. So this is technically the longest marathon I've ever done. Maybe. So I'm looking forward to the music video and dance practice. So let's go ahead and get started. Interesting that he found a flower in the middle of a snowball fight in the middle of winter too. Ooh. Oh. I've never thought to try that. Oh, that's a cool shot. So not a practical way of putting a CD in a sound system. This took such a turn. It's really fun. It's relatable once again, which is something I think it's safe to say they do very well. We're back again.
다 별로 없는 거죠.
Come on now, come on now. What if he gets hit again? That's actually kind of cute. Aww. Oh. Huh. really cool. It was a bit open. No, I mean, it wasn't just a bit. It was quite open-ended. You can leave it to your own discretion on what she does. I thought it would have been really funny if he got hit by a snowball again, and that's what finished it out. But that was very interesting. Definitely not what I was expecting at all. All right. Do we have a fixed cam dance practice? I think we do. I can't wait. Let's go!
보이넥스도어가 걔네 뭐 어떻게 지낸다고?
Okay. Gotta turn it up. Come on now. It does feel like a type of track that you would get to finish out like a montage for a drama, right? A youthful drama. Come on now. Oh, that's cute! That section looked pretty fatiguing. 가자! Oh, Lord. Ooh! Bless their hearts. Oh, man. They're like, I want to be done. Oh, that's so tiring. Wow. Okay. Yeah, they have some very, very tricky sections in this, which makes me excited to talk about. Okay, here we go from the top. So it does look like that they're tagging a wall. Tagging meaning that they're graffitiing, right? I feel like that's kind of our intention here. I like the toss, or just the hop out of it with a little bit more of this reverb, this reset in our weight, which is really fun. He runs to the other side, which is fun. They do a couple more of these tosses where we're lifting and we're hopping, not quite as reverbed as we did see the first time, but I like that they're using it as a transition to get into our columns, and then it's a switching ball change to the outside, and then they're using these angsty hands, you know, which I think is this is just very cute, very relatable. What's funny is one of our guys was just a lot of wet laundry, just speckles into the air, getting in your face, sneezing. And it's like a lot of really subtle relational elements that I am noticing more and more and more that Boynextdoor is really honing in on. They really are coming across like the boys next door. Now they're idols, so it's a little bit trickier to, you know, see them the same way as you would run into your neighbor. But I do appreciate the realistic nuance of it, because it doesn't feel like they're in their own little world. Like, we can feel that way with a lot of people in these types of positions, so it's cool. It definitely makes you enjoy and find the humor in the storyline a little bit more believable that way too, right? With the consistency. So I like that they were walking backwards to get us transition. Oh, my feature walks back. They take their body. They end up dropping lower level, little ball change. I like the pull up, and then they pull it to transition. New feature, so he hits it, boom, dun, dun. I like fixed cans because it helps us really see, does our choreography, formations, and transitions allow us to see our features when we need to see them? So far, so good. Where you have your feature in the center, yes, you have somebody else that's deviating, is a little bit lower in the hinge, but how we have our feature in black, how he's making his choices, do allow us the ability to kind of clock him as that feature, which is really nice. And then he ends up switching direction. I like these little, I think they're doing ball changes here. Yeah, boom, ball change. They bounce in. I like the subtle different directions that we see some of our guys go on that. And then they take the shoulders. I really like the boom, boom, the bass on it. Just the clarity of that, letting the shoulders being loud and profound is also fun. They take their arms up, whoom, and then it looks like we do a little shower moment, which we're here for. The pulls are nice. Pull up, pull as a prep with our weight, and then we turn out of it with our hands by our head. We swing the arms out. I really like that. Feels like we have a door that we're closing. Boy next door. And then we have a boy that's next to the doors. They close. Ha ha. And then he takes his arm. He swings it, a little sweep around with the leg, crossing it behind. Takes his arm. He melts it down. They take their arms, send them to the outside to drop them as well. That allows for a really fun dynamic that helps justify what your feature did in choice. And it makes it feel more full that way too. So then we have a fun reveal from the back with our next feature. They pull spread out to allow a space in the center for us to easily see him. They have a lot of ball changes, a lot of hops, so that's going to be fatiguing pretty quickly. We're about 30 seconds in, and we have a lot of footwork to go, especially there's 2 sections I clocked that are aggressive on the footwork, especially nuance of the feet themselves. So I'm excited to dive into that when we get there. We take the arms, we pull it around. I like the tension on it. We go hop, hop, hop. And that's a really fun way of doing a hit and folk. Do, do, do. Hit. It's not a typical setup. I like the hop into it, or the triple hop. And then I like the different directions we're going. It's mirrored but opposite. They toss it. So we are hiding somebody behind, but I'm not considering it like an intentional hiding like you do see in even numbers sometimes. It looks more functional for the formation, for just this little season of the composition overall. They take their arms up. I like my feature not doing that. Keeps him featured, which is cool. I like that we have a little bit more of a legato or smoothness in the choice compared to it being more reverbed or rigid. So that was fun. Into that little galloping kind of weight shift, ball change, which is cool. They're pointing over to the side. We drop 3 and 3, which is cool. They say, oh, point, which is nice to have them kind of pointing for us as an audience to look over to that side. And then he tosses it down. Oh, what happened? Sometimes it gets stuck. Let's see if it'll get stuck there. It did. Did a little refresh. Hopefully it's working now. The point noise are cute. He tosses it, which is also nice. Reset is there. Okay, we're good. Smooth sailing from here. They slide it back. They take it out and notice the bass, 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 bass. Cross and cross, doon, doon. To have the arms complement with that choice. I like the lowered groundedness of it. It actually helps cater to the deepness of that bass as well. So some subtlety with the arms, more gestural, more pedestrian. It helps contribute to the relatability of our concept just as a group as a whole. When you choose to go, I'm doing something that somebody would actually do as a mannerism in their day-to-day life, that adds to the relatability that we've been touching on throughout the entirety of this track thus far, right? So I appreciate that. It's subtle. They swing the arms. They're just matching their timing. Some subtle dynamic shifts, some texture shifts, but it matches tone very well. Take the arms out in. So that was really nice where they set the arm out, swing from a cross to an uncross. It definitely gives a little guitar nuance to our choice. It feels like we're pantomiming one. And you hear a guitar that also helps us be able to associate what they're doing with what we're hearing. So that's a fun musicality through wordplay, right? Not really wordplay. I'm going to call it instrument play. Yeah. That. They're not hitting all of it, but we're getting the gist where we're associating, right? So he sends his arms over and it causes a ripple effect, which is always enjoyable. Then we have our band kick in, is what it sounds like. So when they all toss those arms, it feels like hey, let's go ahead and start the party. So they toss away, they take the arms, they send them out. They're like, what? It does remind you of other mannerisms from earlier on, but it's a little bit more open and more structured with the lower body getting involved with the step out. Then they bring the arms back in. They step out, boom, notice the music dropped out, boom, they froze for a second to help recognize that sound dropping out. So I love whenever your choreography allows us as an audience to be able to hear the music and hear those dropouts and hear those additions as effectively as we're hearing it. And I really do think part of it comes from how the choreography is structured. I love that. The points are nice. He says a little heart out of it. We take our arms, we send them boom with a hop. I love the smile. It makes it more convincing, right? It's not one of those types of routines where you're crying. It's more of a gregarious, more happier kind of tone. So smiling through the pain of the fatigue is unfortunately something they're going to have to do in this routine time and time and time again. The step back is nice. I appreciate the simplicity of this where they just step out the first time and then they swing the leg, so they're progressing it in difficulty through promoting more of a required balance, but it allows for the different sections of the I love you in 3 languages we're hearing to be recognized, but also have movement that is similar but still different, right? Which is cool. And then they take the kick, boom, with the arms sent out. Then they have the sarange, they break it apart, and then they switch it up. With the legs, they have the heels with their weight, and then they're sending those toes out to the sides. Then they knock the head, they do it once, and then they do it twice, but the torso and more of the, not even a snake, but letting the head initiate the choice with the weight going where it was, with this knock into 2 knocks was a fun progression. They end up sending it low, and then they travel it around. Does feel like you could have walked it out. I like the hip swing on it with having the arm guide. It allowed us to be able to see the hips a little bit easier there. Then it looks like we're taking a broom or something along those lines. It's a physical object, but it's not really there, but it feels like they have it. And I like how they send it over down. Is it a guitar? Maybe it's a guitar from earlier. Then you have that, you notice it went high, low, or decrescendo, it kind of dropped out. So having them melt into it allowed us to also hear that little interruption of sound too. So we have our feature. He looks like he blew them away. I love the quickness of the steps on it. It's so gimmicky, so theatrical. I love that we've kept that type of energy and that type of perspective from debut. And that's the beauty of watching things in order, which is why I'm just so thankful that Lauren has taken the time to, on Patreon, request, not every month, but I mean, every month that she's done Boynextdoor, it's been in order. So I'm very appreciative of that, to where we can pick up on things that normally marathons you get to pick up on outside of just doing one-offs. So this is great. They set it back like the hop, the swing definitely gives a little penguin waddle, doesn't it? That fun. And it goes, so I would consider this the first section of Mayhem, and then that outro, whoo, boy howdy, this one's right in the middle, and then the ending. Oh man. So I like the different directions with this twirl going in. It definitely gives a little Campbell-lonking, suave perspective. I like that they take the arm, they grab, and I like that with the deviation. It does feel like somebody's playing on a piano, like a modified electric piano. I like that they did the leg, and then they caused that to help change places. So then you have these little chicken wing arms to come back up. Then they cross, do a little subtle slide back with ball changes to reset. Then they take the arms going from one side, and then they switch to the other side. And it goes bass, 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 direction change, giving a little Mario energy. I like the cheering. Sometimes you need that to get through, especially if you're doing multiple takes. And we have no idea how many takes they did of this, but I'm going to safely assume this ain't our first one. Whew, which can be tiring. So I like this breath. I call it like the step up breath rock, where it goes if you've ever seen it, Step Up 2 is what I'm referencing. So whenever you have that in play here, I appreciate it. It's a really good breather point, guys. Get your breath, catch your breath, because you're going to need it for the end. Yeah, I'm always just so impressed at the fact that we're singing live while doing so much of this. It's always commendable, always impressive. Don't let people downplay that. it's not like 100% normal for people to dance this degree of syncopation and this polyrhythmic type of energy with how we have our fullness and our range, and then also sing and have high notes, na, 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 and sound happy and look happy. Like, that's just not a pairing you normally would do. Normally you would just have your dancers be sent onto this mayhem of a routine, but they're like, we can do it ourselves. I love that. Love that so much. And then we have the switch off on that. They take the body, they hop it out of the way. A lot of spacing maintained in some tricky transitions, just like that one, where they're hopping and they're turning to kind of space themselves out from your feature. That's really impressive. And then they're balancing. We have some shoulders, boom, 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 ties into the first, doesn't it? And then I like the legs, causing a lean to make that leg look like it's going out further than it is, which is cool. The lift up is nice. He took that, I call that an airbag vest. I love those puffers. That's actually a really nice puffer. And so this is fun, where you have the arms out, and then we have it look like it's switching up on time, all different timings, which is cool. Bringing it to the inside, and then we trot it away. Now we're in a circle, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it looks like my feature's also doing the same thing, but it feels different because he's the only one facing us, so that's cool. And then we toss it, and they do a freaking high jump, like we're in High School Musical, man. And then we cross, uncross, and then they go, and then it looks like we're supposed to invert, and pretty much everybody just squatted, and then my guy right here said, squeeze the thighs. Wow, very impressive. And then they go, what? Gesture roll once again, brush, brush. They're like, whoo, I'm getting tired. As you should. This is exhausting, right? There's your guitar. And then they go, whoa, send it off. He tosses it instead of everybody tossing it. That's what helps make it feel a little different in the second chorus. If you had that feature, have this moment, and he tosses it, and they were hype men in the process, which is cool. Hop away. He had 4 counts to reset, catch your breath is what that was. And then they take the arms, and then they send them up to the head with a step out of the legs, and then they step out once again. Notice it felt more functional. We had those 2 arms peekaboo out, and they bring it in, come on with the point. And I like that even when our feature moves away, they're pointing to him still. So that was a really fun element there. So it doesn't feel as choreographed. It feels very communal. It feels relatable once again, where it's when I'm pointing to somebody, once they're out of frame, it doesn't mean that I stop pointing at them, unless it's oh, where did you go? I'm still pointing at you because I got something to say. So I do appreciate that we had just that subtlety in, even though he was out of shot, we're not just doing the point because we were told to. It's doing the point to follow to make it relatable. We love it. And then the travel back is nice. The pick it up, yeah. And they do a little boom, kick out. There's your love, and then we toss it. 1, 2, and boom, throw it. And then we ball change it with the head, sitting it down. So it's all the same choreo that we were seeing before, with just some differences, let's say in features and kind of our transitions, like we were saying, but the content itself is pretty much the same. Here we go, and they melt it down, and he says, love you. He said, kerchow. Love that. And now he's on the floor, and they all move. Nice little walk. This is your breather, guys. Another breather. And it looks like he has a little writing moment that looks like it ripples out throughout everybody. He takes the arm. He uses that to trigger everyone as a result to create a suspension, and then getting them all transitioned to the new spot. And they run. They're lower. Notice that they're a little bit on the lower side hinge-wise, so we can very clearly see our feature regardless of height, which is cool. Then he swings the leg. Notice that looked very similar to the Japanese section. I can't say it, I'm sorry. But that's very similar, but the swing's a little different, which is why it feels more full, because it is. Look at this full out energy out of it. And come on with the cheers, because all hell broke loose is what this is. Here we go. So they hit it, bum bum. They are hitting every single sound. It kind of reminds me of Cyber Agent Legit, with this type of funkiness, with the amount of just content, the density of it just infiltrating here. So they went 2 times there. They cross, uncross, they go out in heels, down into the toes, then they're getting ready with the leg, they hold it, and then they use the arms, 1, 2, 3, and it's a heel twist to the outside. Could you have pulled a butterfly out of that, meaning like the Afro move butterfly? There's always that chance. I'm glad they didn't. I kind of like the fact that it has a familiarity or similarity to it, but it is very much not that. But that heel twist can help in understanding timing for it with your weight, right? So the kicks are cool into an Indian top rock, and then they do a little like super bouncy, more comical Harlem shake, which was cute on those bases. And then from there, I like having my feature. He sends the arm around. He's probably like, thank God I don't have to do that. And they all go around right there on the music. There's a part of the music that we are hitting for that. They're turning. And then they toss, and then they take the arms. It looks like that was a tone wop twist, wasn't it? Right? They turn, boom. Little Mario moment, and they twist, and they pull. There's this in the sound, and that's exactly what we're hitting. Super cool. Little peace signs, and hey. We cross, uncross, and then we get ready, and then we bring it to face the back, and then we're doing a little graffiti moment. He's pointing to them, and they're like, that was very fun. I really appreciated the music video visuals, and I really appreciated some fun moments in the dance. I mean, it's cool seeing dancing in music videos, but there's part of a enjoyment to just seeing a cinematic side that tells a story, and you get to sharpen your acting chops and show them off, and then in the dance practice you get to still justify it in a completely different way. I think there's so much beauty in that, and it really celebrates the whole team involved, not just the members, which I always find to be very fun. Well, you guys know me, I know you, I'm Jess. Thank you again, Lauren. We are getting so close to catching up to Boys Next Door. It's gonna be crazy actually looking at really, really recent stuff. So that's gonna be great. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.